The story for Bioshock Infinite, oh boy, is set in 1912 and follows a former Pinkerton agent named Booker DeWitt. Booker is forced to do a job for a bunch of mysterious figures, and that job is to go and find a girl. Now the thing is, he doesn't know what this girl is for. They don't know what they're going to do to her. He's just going to do it because he has a debt, and if he does this, the debt will be paid. This should be easy, seeing that he is a former Pinkerton agent. He's a tough dude. The thing is, it's not a normal place that he has to go to save this girl. He has to go all the way up in the sky to the city of Columbia. Yes, the city in the sky, where there are plenty of dangers, especially the main villain of the game, Comstock, who is a prophet of this city, and let's just say he wants to stop you from getting this girl for a specific reason I will not explain. When you break out this girl, whose name is Elizabeth, you find out quickly that she has a lot of mysterious powers, especially one that can open up tears in the universe and bring things in from different universes, which is very strange. And she has a mysterious bird-like mechanical creature that follows her everywhere she goes named Songbird. Let's just say with Songbird, Comstock, and all of his troops, let's just say yes, there is a lot to beware in the city of Columbia. Some will think the story in the beginning is a little bit too slow. For me, I like the build-up. I really like that build-up to meet Elizabeth. And when you meet Elizabeth, she will be with you for pretty much the entire game. And when you meet Elizabeth, that's where the game gets extremely intriguing, because this game's story starts off as, I think, a damn good story. And when you meet up with Elizabeth and all the way to the end of the game, when those end credits popped up, I threw up my hands. I was like, that is the best game story I have ever experienced in a video game. I was so captivated by all the background stuff, all the audio logs and little things that I'll find in the environment. All the little dialogue pieces between Elizabeth and Booker are just so good. And that ending, holy crap, the ending blew my mind out of the back of my head. And after years and years of this game being out, people will still be talking about it and trying to discuss and examine that ending. It is so good. The writing is so amazing in this game. All the characters are fleshed out to a T. There's not many characters, which is good. That's what I love about a game where it's only focusing on 2, maybe 3 or 4 main characters, and that's it, because we'll get to know a lot about them. Elizabeth here is so likable. You know what? Screw that. She is lovable. She is such a good sidekick in this game. And Booker himself, he is a badass, but he is one of those sullen types. He's not one of those guys that's just gonna go, yeah, I'm gonna be the nice guy throughout the entire game. No, and I like that. He feels real. Elizabeth feels real. Every character in this game feels real. It is such a damn good story that I cannot justify by words. Just go play it. Go play it right now. I'm gonna spoil my review right here. Play this game right now. So there you go. There's the story. It is absolutely astonishing. Now let us talk about the sound, which this game is already on a roll, because the sound here is absolutely phenomenal as well. Let's start off by talking about the voice acting, which the voice acting, like I said, there's not too many characters in the game. I mean, there is plenty of characters you'll hear talking, but not too many main characters. But the main characters here, of course, are Booker and Elizabeth, played by Troy Baker and Courtney Draper, respectively. Now, Troy Baker is one of my favorite voice actors of all time. It's easy to say that because he is one of the best out there, and he is so good in this as well. The writing is amazing, and he does a damn good job of fleshing Booker DeWitt out. Now, Courtney Draper, on the other hand, oh my god, I heard she was actually quitting voice acting. What is wrong with you? Don't do that. You were so good in this game. Every time there's an emotional scene or something, you do a damn good job of just emoting from your voice alone. You can hear her voice cracking. You can hear her starting to tear up. She is so good as a voice actress, and she is such a lovable character in this game that I don't know why you would quit. Come on, do another game. You are an amazing voice actress. The rest of the voice acting is phenomenal as well. There's no real bad ones here at all. Everybody does a damn good job, and the writing is so good that even if there was a bad voice actor, the writing would be good enough to support them. So yeah, the voice acting here is phenomenal. The sound design is almost just as good too, because the game itself is pretty big. I mean, you can't explore every nook and cranny of the city, but you can hear pretty much everything. Every explosion, every like little technical thing that's going on. You can hear everything, and the gun sounds, the little special powers that you get in the game, everything sounds great. And the soundtrack is especially spectacular because it uses a lot of old music, because, you know, it's 1912s. It uses a lot of old music to set a mood, and I like that they don't use just music from the 1912s. They actually use stuff from 1960s and 50s. They use Beach Boys a lot, which I actually thought was kind of cool. They actually made it feel like it was from the early 1900s, and I enjoyed that. And the score itself is actually really well done as well, and adds a lot to when, you know, the action is coming or there's some dramatic moments. It really does help the story. So yeah, the sound here is phenomenal. Now let's talk about the graphics, which this game is beautiful. It really is. Now, many people are going to say, oh, the texturing's not that good, or oh, some of the character models are used over and over again. But what they do in this game is so phenomenal because they actually make you believe in some of these characters really existing just because of how well done the animations are. First of all, Elizabeth, whenever she emotes, whenever she sees something that's devastating to her, she will emote even when it's not a cutscene. You'll just look at her character that's following you around and you will see her expression, and it is either really well, you know, you'll feel like, wow, that's a really good job, and sometimes you'll be devastated, like, oh man, I like this girl, why does she have to go be all like upset and stuff. And the character models, for the most part, are really well done in the game as well. I say really well done a lot, Jesus Christ. But you know what? They are. They are. So the character models are great. All the animations are fantastic. The scenery itself, the world of Colombia is so beautiful to look at. Even though when you get up close, I played on Xbox, so this is probably not a problem on PC. But when you get up and close, you'll see some blurry textures here and there and some pop-in. But for the most part, the world itself is beautiful. All the effects, all the little powers that you get that you can use, all the characters that can be on screen at once. When you get on the skyline, it goes super fast and you can't even notice if there's any texture, you know, popping or anything because it's going so fast. It looks so beautiful. This game is a powerhouse in graphics, in my opinion. Sure, there's some texture problems, but I don't care. The game itself is so beautiful to look at. I didn't even mind to see, oh, pop in once in a while. So yeah, the graphics are phenomenal. I know I keep using that word, but you know, that's a good way to explain it. It is. But now let's talk about the gameplay, which I was extremely excited to play this game, if you couldn't tell from all the other categories where I gushed all over this game. But I wasn't just looking forward to it because of story or graphics or the voice acting. I was looking forward to having a lot of fun, just non-stop addictive fun, which I am going to say this. This game is 16 hours, and I almost beat the game in its first day. That's right, I had to stop myself because I would have played all the way through. I would have been tired as hell. When that ending popped up, I would have been like, well, what's going on? I don't even care. I'm so tired. Because I would have played through this the entire way through because this game is so addicting to play because the story is so captivating and the gameplay itself is so much fun. It really is. It is a first-person shooter with a lot of really cool things that you can do in the game. You get a lot of really cool guns. You get machine guns, you get rocket launchers, you get pistols, shotguns, you know, typical stuff. You get what you would expect. Sniper rifles, nothing really amazing until you actually get the Vigors, which are the replacements for the plasmids from Bioshock 1 and 2. Now, besides Eve, you actually use salts to replenish your Vigors. You have 8 Vigors in the game, and what I really like is that each one feels completely different. You have one that shoots a fireball, you have a lightning one, of course, which is, you know, typical for Bioshock. You got one that shoots crows at someone and stuns them, one that launches enemies in the air, and so on. You have a lot of different abilities in this game. And one of my favorite things is that you can actually combo them with other Vigors in the game. So, for example, you can actually launch enemies into the air, and while there's like 3 or 4, maybe 5 enemies in the air, you can throw a fireball in there, and because you comboed it, it will actually make it a bigger explosion and kill all 5 enemies in just pretty much 2 button clicks. The Vigors, along with the combinations and the gunplay, really adds a lot to each battle that you'll go through in this game, and there is plenty of battles. But what I like is that there's a lot of variety in these battles, and they don't give you too many of the battles. Whenever you're in a section where you have to fight and it's a long time, you might have another one after that, and then you'll have a lot of story, you have a lot of walking around, exploring, and then you go back into the gunplay, and I really enjoyed that. But wait, I'm not done. There is more in the gameplay that adds a lot to the battles. You have Elizabeth herself, and you have the skyline system. Let me talk about Elizabeth first. At a certain point, Elizabeth will follow you around for the rest of the game, pretty much the rest of the game. And when she does, she will aid you in battle by finding you more ammo for your gun if your gun's actually getting low, or she'll find you salts when your vigor salts are getting low too. And a really cool part is that she will not get in the way in the battles. You do not have to worry about her. She will defend herself, which I thought was great, because if you had a companion that will get caught and get shot and you'll get game over and over again, then I would have hated it. But the AI here is so good for Elizabeth and for all the other enemies that you'll encounter in the game that you do not need to worry about her. And the last and probably the biggest thing about Elizabeth is that she can open up tears, like I said in the story. And these tears go into different universes, and she can actually help you by ripping out covers or skyline hooks or even different turrets or guns by going through a different universe and plucking them out of that universe and bringing them into this universe. It adds a lot of strategy because you can actually go and like use the skyline hook and flank an enemy when they don't know where you are. Or you can use cover, you can get a shotgun or sniper or something out of the environment and use that. It really is cool that Elizabeth can do this stuff, and she's really helpful in the game, and she is a great part of the story too. But now let's talk about another big feature, the skylines. In the beginning of the game, you get a thing called the skyhook that can be used to attach yourself to a skyline, and you can actually zip through the environments, flank enemies, use it to catch up with other enemies that are actually on the skylines. The skylines are extremely useful and look beautiful when you're on it. It's actually a lot of fun and very easy to go and like slow it down, reverse, go the other way, and attack enemies, shoot at them while you're on the skylines. It's actually extremely easy. My favorite part about the skylines is that they don't overuse it, which is great. They use it maybe 7 or 8 times throughout a 15 to 16 hour game, and it is perfect. The perfect amount of times you can use it, because there are some scenes where you can actually use it and go and get up on a blimp and destroy it, jump off and use it again, which are great set pieces, some of the best I've seen in gaming. But other times you just use it to go and take out some normal enemies, and it's a lot of fun either way. Add all this stuff together and it gives you so much variety in the battles that it is insane. Every battle felt different to me because I used different vigors, used different tears, used the skylines. It is so much fun to use all this stuff, and it really adds so much to the gameplay. But besides just going around shooting every single person, you can do a lot of exploring in this game, because there'll be parts where even Elizabeth will point it out and say, hey, we can go this way or we can go this way and find some more supplies. And if you do that, you can actually find different audio logs which add a lot of backstory, which I found really cool. You can find extra money which you can use at vending machines to buy more salts or health or ammo, or you can actually upgrade your guns and your vigors themselves, which of course there always has to be an upgrade system, and it's great here. It actually does feel like you're upgrading the stuff. And hell, you can actually find new clothing in the game, which you don't actually get to see on Booker because you never really see him in the game, but when you put them on, they actually add different abilities. Like if you put a new hat on, you can actually run a little faster, or you put a new shirt on, you can shoot better while on the skylines, and just stuff like that, which is cool to have in the game. But my favorite part of exploring these environments, again, is Elizabeth, because when you are with Elizabeth, I said the AI is amazing, but there'll be times where you're just like roaming a beach or roaming like a store, and she will just stop and look at stuff and have an expression where she's like, huh, what is this thing? And you actually feel like, oh, I forgot she was trapped in a tower. She doesn't know what all this stuff is. She's been in that tower for her entire life and she has no idea what the stuff is. And I love that AI that is actually evolving with the girl. I actually like that. She's like, oh, I know what this thing is now. That's cool. And I thought that was amazing that she'll actually stop and look at something and go, oh, what is this thing? Or, oh, that's cool. I just love that. So I'm just going to end this review by saying this. There's no multiplayer. The game itself is about 15-16 hours long, but it's probably one of the best 15-16 hour experiences I've ever had in a video game. So overall, while this game does not have multiplayer and some people will find it hard to go back and replay, I find it extremely easy because it is an astonishing experience from start to end. It really is, and that ending just makes you really want to play the game over just to see if you missed something that would make you go, now I understand the ending. It really is an amazing experience that is highly replayable, so much fun to play. The story is one of the best, if not the best, in video game history. It is an amazing experience all the way through. You will love these characters to death all the way to the end. I love this game so much, and I've been waiting for this game for 3 years, and it did not disappoint. Hell, it actually elevated my happiness a little bit more. Like, my anticipation was at a level that I did not think it could be surpassed, and it was. So thank you, Irrational Games. Thank you, Ken Levine. Thank you to every single person that worked on this game. I love you. I do. This is one of my longest reviews ever, but it deserves it. You deserve it. I deserve it. I don't deserve it, but you guys deserve it because you are awesome. So thank you for watching, listening to this extremely long review, but it definitely deserves it. Go buy this game now. This is a 10 out of 10. If I could give it 11 out of 10, I would, because this is a phenomenal experience, one of the best games of all time. Get this right now. Do it. Do it now. So there you go. There's my review for Bioshock Infinite. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and goodbye.
judges.
Thanks!
I act.
I'm not letting you take her, you hear me?
Everyone stay calm. The Prophet foresaw this day would come.
Bring us the girl, and wipe away the debt.